Dave Palumbo here with an RX Muscle rant. Today's topic is something that's been really bothering me for quite some time now, and I just want to get it off my chest, and it's excessive anabolic steroid dosages in women. You know what? I always tell people when I work with athletes that are female, I always tell them, look, I'm going to treat you as if you're my girlfriend or wife. Would I want my girlfriend or wife using certain compounds? And the answer most of the time is no. And here's the problem. Anabolic steroids are basically masculinizing hormones. They're hormones that create masculinized features in people who take them. Now, if you're a man, that's not really going to be a big problem. If you're a female, however, okay, it's going to turn you into a man to a certain degree. Okay, now depending on the strength of them. Now, if we start with testosterone as like the pure anabolic, androgenic, compound that builds muscle and that turns you into a man or masculinizes you, and that's really what the androgenic component is. Then everything else under that goes down the line is lesser and lesser and lesser in terms of side effects from the masculinizing standpoint. So like if testosterone's up here and Anavar is down here, Anavar would have the least side effects for a woman, whereas testosterone would have the most, and all the other compounds fall in between. You might have like Anavar, and then you might go up to Winstrol and Primobolan, and then you might go to like Decker and Masteron, and and up the line EQ and Trembolone. And you get to a point where most of these drugs are not drugs that women should put in their body. Why? Because they create androgenic side effects: facial hair growth, thickening of the jaw, hair thinning on the head, okay? Acne. These are things that are undesirable for women to have. Now, think about what happens to a boy as he goes through puberty. When a boy hits about 11, 12 years old, 13 years old, all of a sudden he starts producing more testosterone. And that testosterone, a certain percentage of it converts to DHT or dihydrotestosterone. And then what happens is the boy's body and face start to change. He gets the more masculinized look to his face, his jaw thickens, he starts growing facial hair on his face, right? His penis enlarges in size. And that's a natural progression that will take place over the course of 4, 5, or 6 years, that, what we call puberty. Now, a woman who starts taking drugs that she shouldn't be taking, that are high in androgens and that convert to DHT, the same thing will happen to her, okay, over the course of a long period of time. Now, no one takes just one steroid cycle. If you're a competitor, you're going to use this, for several or many years for that matter. So a lot of women start out, they're taking the wrong drugs, but they don't notice the side effects right away because, once again, they take a while to happen. And then before they know it, they've turned into a man and they've changed their whole appearance. So this is the problem. So when I get a client that comes to me and says, hey, I was working with this, and I'm not going to name names, but I've been working with this trainer and that trainer, he had me taking this and that, and I'm horrified when I see the stuff that these trainers and these, quote, gurus have these women on. I had a woman the other day come to me very well. I know her very well. Matter of fact, I helped her turn pro a number of years back. I guess she went to try another trainer, and this trainer had her on testosterone cypionate. Testosterone cypionate. He had her on, other compounds that were also EQ, equipoise, Masteron. Why would you put a woman on these? These are dosages and these are drugs that men take. They have a lot of side effects. They're androgenic. They convert to DHT. Some of these drugs. I mean, testosterone is the stupidest drug to put a woman on. I mean, you might as well not even worry about the other stuff. Just put her on testosterone at that point. I mean, if you want to turn her into a man, I mean, when they have these women that want to become, that are transgender, that want to become men, they put them on 100 milligrams a week of testosterone. That's the dosage necessary to turn them into men. And yet we see women competitors. I see this girl was a figure competitor and she was on this dosage. I couldn't believe it. And the trainer, you'd know who he was. I mean, he's a household name. He's not a guy that's like one of these weird, unknowledgeable guys. He's smarter than that. I don't know why he had her on this as a figure competitor. I've seen bikini girls on stuff that they should not be taking. Guys, this is just as bad as giving poison to a woman. You might as well just give her the poison. You're doing the same thing. You're doing a disservice to her. Look, any woman can take strong drugs and put a lot of muscle on, but you're going to lose the femininity. You're going to ruin this person. Try to make a beautiful woman, put muscle on, and keep her beautiful. That's a success story. That's the right way to do it. Okay? The least amount of anabolic agents that a woman can use, or I shouldn't even say anabolic agents, the least amount of steroidal agents that you can give a woman and make her look good, the better off you are. You're better off using fat-burning agents like clenbuterol and a little bit of thyroid hormone, because those are not going to masculinize a woman. Even a little bit of growth hormone is not going to masculinize a woman because they're non-steroidal. When I see these, I cringe. Anavar is probably the safest thing if it's real. And once again, you got to test these compounds because you don't know what you're getting. You might be thinking you're giving someone Anavar and you're giving them, Dianabol. It happens all the time because these compounds are not coming from pharmacies; they're underground compounds. So that's another thing. If you're working with a woman and you're suggesting that they take Anavar, maybe a little bit of Winstrol, you better have them buy some of those Roy test kits, okay, and test the gear to make sure what they're taking is real. Because, once again, Anavar and Winstrol are expensive compounds. Dianabol is cheap. A lot of times they put Dianabol in these pills, small dosages of it, and thinking no one's going to know the difference. They're going to get good results, right? It's a strong drug, but then these women start getting side effects. They get all bloated, and they're getting acne, and their hair is thinning, and they don't know what's going on, and they're gaining weight, and they're dieting. What the hell's... Because they're not using Anavar. They're using stronger compounds that have these side effects associated with them. Hopefully, a lot of times a lot of these women are very intuitive with their bodies, so they will catch this stuff. But a lot of women are being put, not because they don't know any better, because they're being told you should take testosterone. That's what you got to take if you want to be a successful competitor. You got to take equipoise. You got to take master. No, you don't. No, you don't. Don't listen to these people. These people are not looking out for your best interest. They're looking out for their best interest, because as a trainer, you put a woman on a lot of drugs and she gets a lot of muscle and she looks good and she transforms her body in 6 months and you look like a genius. Meanwhile, you just ruined this woman for life. So, guys, first of all, be respectful of women. Be responsible as a trainer not to use things that are going to ruin the appearance of this woman, okay, and her femininity. And then women, be smart. Don't just do what people tell you. Don't be a dummy. Do your research. Listen to videos, educational videos like this. Test your compounds. Research your trainer. Just because they have good results doesn't mean that they're a person that's going to look out for your interests. Talk to people that they work with, okay? Do your research. This is your bodies. You're going to put this stuff in it. It could permanently change the way you look. There's no excuse whatsoever for taking something that's not meant to be put into a woman's body. There's no excuse for that. You know why? Because you can take stuff that is weaker, okay, that will not cause the side effects, and you can achieve the same level of success. Might it take a little longer? Yeah, but who cares? At least you're still going to maintain your femininity, and you're not going to regret the decisions you make now later in life. So I put the onus of responsibility on the person first, but on the trainer second. Because shame on you if you're a trainer out there and you're recommending that these women take these strong drugs. Knowing the side effects that come with these things and knowing the ramifications down the road that it's going to affect this person's femininity and maybe their psychological state. So, guys, women, be smart. Do your research. Listen to this video as if it is the gospel, because I promise you I've been doing this a very long time. You will regret it if you're a woman taking this stuff, and as a trainer, it will come back to bite you in the ass. I'm Dave Palumbo with an RX Muscle Rant.